Utah's best coverage of the Utes, Cougars, Jazz, and Mammoth. Here we go! From the guys who have been there for all the biggest moments in Utah sports history. You're listening to DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Question up on our Facebook page, the Big 12 statement on the Big 12 unanimously adopting a conference rule barring Big 12 member institutions from fielding professional athletes in any conference-sponsored sport. No member institution may roster an athlete who has at any time declared for the draft or supplemental draft or professional sports league and did not timely withdraw before the draft, been listed on the roster of a professional sports league, or signed a contract with any professional sports league to provide athletic services. So there's still many questions, and the rules have to be written in much more detail than this. Because you sign a contract with a professional sports league to provide athletic services. Okay, so if you sign with an NBA team to be on a summer league roster, you probably have to sign something to go to an NFL rookie camp. I think we all recognize, as you point out earlier in the show, rookie camp is different than being in the training camp in August and being, in preseason games. That's like the rookie camp is like a tryout to see if we want to bother to bring you in as one of the 85 or whatever it is number now. They change that rule occasionally. I'm not sure what the exact number is. Before they cut it down to 53.
Yeah.
If you're on the 53, no way. But even if you're one of the 80 or 90 or whatever they're putting in the first preseason game, you're done in college.
Yeah.
But rookie camp's okay, summer league's okay.
Well, rookie camp is akin to, you'll hear it, they'll have the Seattle Mariners, to use them as an example, they'll have a tryout in Phoenix, and 150 guys show up. You got guys all over the place, and that's the same thing. So that wouldn't count or shouldn't count. And I would go so far as to say the NBA Summer League doesn't count. That might be more gray. I understand that. But for me, in the example of the Kohler kid here who wants to play at BYU this coming season, I would say that's fine. I know you played on the Summer League, but it's just a few days. And it's not real. It's not training camp. If you go to training camp. That is an entirely different thing than summer leagues and pickup games and whatnot. It used to be like if you played in some like a pro league in the summer that had pros, you would have to sit out. I mean, it's stupid stuff.
Right.
Brandon Jesse way back once got an 8-game, 9-game. Yoli Childs, he didn't file the paperwork or some stupid thing, and he got the third of the season. That's fairly recent in the case of Childs. Jesse's going back 30 years, but that seems like it might be 5,000 years from what they're allowing now. To me, the training camp, the distinction is training camp. When the first day of training camp opens for the Jazz, which would be around October 1st, if you are there wearing their uniform in their practice, you're out. But everything else before, I'm okay. NFL, that rookie tryout stuff is not training camp. But July 20th, whatever day it opens, if you were there and you report to wherever it is, you're out. It needs to be more black and white. And the foreign thing has always been a little bit of a
We've got a lot of that. We got Michael, does this apply to pros from overseas leagues as well? Basketball and soccer have many former pros from international pro leagues. And I suppose the question is going to be what level. And that's the foreign version of what you're saying with these camps. Because you can be with a foreign club, but they call them like their senior team. And then they've got, basically, they have like their own minor league system and age groups. So, and if you excel.
Yeah, because they don't have college sports.
Right. And if you're Luka Doncic and you excel at 14 years old, they're going to put you, with the 18-year-olds.
Well, they have to determine some drop deadline there, the cutoff I'm looking for.
And it may be that senior roster, that first team, like if you're with them. Otherwise, you're in their equivalent of high school and college.
Right. Yeah, they have the academies and so forth because they don't play the college. And I don't even know they do high school.
No. Well, I mean, if they do, it's not.
Not like our system.
No.
Which is why we're the friggin' greatest country in the world, and I got no problem admitting that. And if you have a problem with that, you know what you can do? I mean, I'll be right there on the front line, man.
I don't think we can say it on the radio.
I'll say it on the radio.
It goes back to Roki Sasaki, and can you show the blister? Well, it depends. Define pro sports league, Jason said. Yes, it will have to be defined. And it wasn't that defined in the statement they put out. The rules, I'm sure, are more defined than that. He says there could be extremely broad in its interpretation. In fact, isn't the NCAA a professional sports league at this point? Schools are paying players directly now.
Sure. And that's why they're establishing these guidelines. It is. Okay, fine. Yeah. All right, great.
Mark says this is the way it should be. But there are some coaches who are going to encourage said athletes to challenge it in court. That is true. And not just coaches. There's agents out there as well. Well, they want to get paid. They're going to find the best place for their player to get paid.
They can do whatever they want, but the courts need to wake up and do it as appropriately. And the Lane Kiffins of the world, stop with your justification. We get it. Every single coach out there wants to win. And a lot of these programs, most of them, want to win at all costs, which means, and they'll couch it. And Kiffin is who he is, man. If you're looking for a man of impeccable, upstanding, will never waver in the face of temptation, he's not your guy. But he's not really that different.
So there's three groups of coaches here, and I think the third group, the one you'd like to see, is the smallest group. There's a group of coaches who will push the envelope and do whatever it takes to win. There's a second group of coaches, which I think is what Ryan Day was kind of how he was describing himself when we played that bite earlier this morning. Like, hey, I don't want to do this, but if everybody else is doing it, I'm not going to be at a competitive disadvantage. I'm doing it too, but go ahead and change the rules.
And I don't believe Ryan Day.
Oh, you don't think he wants to lead the charge?
No, I don't think I don't really want to do it. So I'm just going to couch it that, I have to do it. I have to do it for you Buckeye fans. I'm doing this for you. I'm not doing it for myself. I'm a man of upstanding, impeccable credentials. No.
I don't think he's the one who's going to push the envelope, and maybe he'll prove me wrong here
because he doesn't have
there
to.
There it is. That's where I was. That's exactly where I was going.
He gets five. If you're not a 5-star, they don't want to be interested. He's already said that.
He's already at the front of the parade. So what does he need a rule change for? The current rules are working really well for him and for Ohio State. So he's not going to be the one who pushes the envelope. Now, LSU wants to be at the front of the parade. Occasionally they have been, but they haven't been able to stay there. So they will push the rule.
Well, and they got the right guy.
Yeah. Yes.
Whatever rule he can bend, he's going to.
Lane.
And I think the administration allows it. It's like I don't dump on the steroid dudes. The league looked the other way. McGuire Sosa, after the strike, are essentially the Magic and Bird.
They made everybody a lot of money.
Yeah.
They did. They brought eyeballs back when people were disgusted with the game. It's like, man, I'm still mad you canceled the World Series, but I got to watch you hit home runs. This is just too amazing.
I can remember being in the Tribune newsroom when it was on Main Street, and all these 22-year-olds are now work for the Tribune. On Main Street? What? Well, that's where the offices were, and we had little TVs on the walls, and the news desk and the city side reporters and so forth, we were all jammed in together, and we're all watching Sosa and McGuire on a Tuesday night. The people who had no real interest in sports. Wow, it's some big home run thing.
Everything.
I'm going to check it out. Yeah, and so I'm supposed to dump on these guys as if they're just friggin' death row criminals? And Kiffin here, when the administration is okay with it, that's why they brought him in. They brought him in full well knowing his team was in the playoff. We don't care. We don't care about the youngsters on that team. We care about us. Screw them. They're 18, 22 years old, all in or in the way. Screw that. We want Kiffin. They could have waited a few weeks. He wasn't going anywhere, but they didn't.
He was going somewhere. He's going to Baton Rouge. and
they
didn't
would've
care.
waited?
None of that whole collegiality. Everybody in this
Right.
conference is in the same boat together. Blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Blah, blah,
we're
blah,
family.
blah.
Yeah,
Blah,
they're
blah,
family
blah.
in the way the Bus family's family.
Here's a sharp stick. Take your glasses off so I can poke you in the eye.
Right. So, and now I'm expecting them to be high moral character? No. Why would I expect that? You pick up a snake, he's going to bite you. Yeah. And we had Care on when you were gone, and Riley's just saying, "Oh, Eric, he's just making all sorts of fun of me. PK's making fun of me." And Care says, "Hey, you knew what he was when you picked him up."
I've had occasion to talk with a couple high school principals and talking about high school football and all the transferring and all that, and you've come up in it, and and they're not all aware that you know Eric Care so well because your wife worked in the same athletic department. And you end up just sitting at games, talking. And I said, so Care walks over and sits down, and PK's got to give him a hard time because he's PK, and people are like, they know.
Yeah, so I don't even know that I really criticize Kiffin because the system is allowing him to do it. And he wants to win. He's paid to win games. He's not paid to build upstanding future community leaders, all that BS that we hear about.
And he's at that rare school where you're
You're out
paid
the
to win
door if
games.
you don't.
You're out the door, but you're paid to win playoff games.
Right.
You can add, Kelly won a lot of games, but he wouldn't win a playoff game, so next.
That's why the more responsible of adults, if there's such a thing, need to have these rules. This is something that the entire state of NCAA athletics and all the administrators and all the presidents, everybody involved, just woefully dropped the ball on. And, the horse out of the barn or whatever that expression is. And now we're trying to corral Secretariat to get back into the barn.
Well, there was so long where they made so much money off players, and players didn't get checks. And you can see, and even when they started giving them,
I thought you were going to
cost of
say something
attendance.
else. I thought you were going to say players didn't get.
Well, they did. If I'm reading your mind correctly, I believe the answer to that was yes. But it's like, well, we'll give them cost of attendance. So they're giving like $17,000. Well, we're seeing people playing for $1.5 million. You're like,
And that was a start, but we went from that to just everything.
But the thing is,
with no regulations.
It finally went to the courts, and the judges have just routinely rejected the rules in college sports. So now it comes down to not just the presidents, ADs, and coaches, but also the school lawyers. Like, what rule can we make that will stand up?
Anything. Because if you just refuse to do it, then who cares what the court rules?
Yeah, but they're not going to refuse to do it because everybody wants to win.
Then that's where they need to stand up and say, this is what we need to do. As I said, training camp. That's a black and white line that is easily identifiable, recognizable, and implemented. If you go to training camp, no. This way, everybody knows. Jackson Kohler did not go or has not, they haven't had it yet, has not gone to training camp. If he goes, he being plural, using him as an example, well, he didn't. He went to the summer league. Okay, you're good to go. It's no problem. It's a tryout. You go to the rookie camp that they have, and it's usually like a week or two after the draft. Fine. Give yourself a shot. It's not there. It's not training camp. And away you go. Maybe you can even, I guess in order to go to the OTAs, which are just off-season practice, I don't know why we call them OTAs, I guess you got to be successful from the minicamp. That might be a little bit of a gray line. Although I would be okay with that. I want what's beneficial for the youngster who needs to find out, do I have a shot here while still maintaining this over here?
And there's that, and then they've got to do something with the roster so that, because everything you're saying, it's another month, and the college kids are getting locked in, and I don't think anybody likes or feels good about the whole notion, if I'm bringing this player back after the rookie camp, after the OTAs, after the NBA Summer League, whatever it is, now do you have to cut somebody? So the coaches know you have to hold a spot, or there's another that says you can't say, okay, you got 14 or 15 roster spots, wherever you want to draw the line, and then you get 2 spots to bring people back. You got your 85 football players, your 105 football players, and you got 3 spots to bring players back.
They could just tell the Johnny, bring him in April. Hey, Johnny, we like what you're doing. We don't know if you're going to make the team. We're holding 5 spots open, and if we get 5, there's a possibility that you won't be on the team. Are you okay with that, Johnny? Do you want to go someplace else? Do you want to stick it out?
They'll never be that upfront.
Why not?
Because that's just not the history of it.
Well, there is no history.
The positive is in the past they used to have the walk-ons, and then when they didn't fill that spot, they would give the walk-on the roster spot, and they'd make it a positive, and they'd shoot the video and put it out on social media, and they'd scream like crazy.
And Michigan is having tryouts this week. We're walk-on tryouts. Yeah. Classes have started. So that's still available.
So Kyle's got a spot.
Yeah. Or enlarge the roster by 5. What the crap is the difference?
Yep. All right, DJ PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Barry Trammell coming up at the top of the hour. Stay with us.
Over 2 decades of sports radio dominance in Utah.
My favorite.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Join Scotty G and the coach at the El Matador Restaurant, 606 South Main in Bountiful, Monday from 10 to 2. El Matador, a Utah Mexican food staple for over 50 years.
50 years? Wow.
50. Passed down through the generations.
Cool.
Question this morning, we're asking, what do you want from Michigan football this season? And PK, the amount of positivity is just overwhelming. People want W's. They want wins. They want victories. They want playoffs. And a lot of them want Utah or BYU, depending on who they root for, to play Michigan in the postseason. Case says, I'm torn on this. I grew up in Michigan. I celebrated 100% when BYU beat Michigan in 84. I kind of want the Wolverines to go down in flames. Then again, Jay Hill didn't rip a lot of players away, so maybe 2 to 4 losses, play BYU in the postseason, and we whoop them.
He didn't rip any players away. I mean, they had one running back, I think, because his uncle was on the staff. Or was he a linebacker or something? I don't know. It didn't even matter. And Utah was the one. But, I mean, as I said, I don't know how Ute fans can be upset with that. I want to be as upset as I possibly can be with Sam Leavitt going to LSU. I want him to crash and burn, right?
Big old 7-5 for LSU.
That's a theory. The theory's out there. I've seen it. Talked to people down there. They want him.
Oh, yeah. So you're saying not you personally, but you know there are ASU fans who want him to have a big old 7-5 and have them get called on the carpet.
Disloyal, and that. Well, you brought him in from Michigan State. You didn't have any problem with that. And then
where was your disloyalty then?
Most likely the starter is going to be last year's starter from Kentucky.
Where's your disloyalty now?
So Ute fans want to get upset that he took these players. Well, you didn't have any problem when Devin Dampier came over from New Mexico. And, oh, my gosh, the classic example was, what's his face? Kino Tasavana. That just blew everything apart. He was disloyal and he went for the bag and blah, 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 blah. And you just pitched a fit when he left, some of you, what Utah to BYU. And the dad was on social media and blah, on and on. Well, okay, but you didn't have any problem when Devin Dampier did it. And now you got these transfer wide receivers. This is the deepest receiver room in the history of. They had to put on an expansion on the receiver room because it's so large.
Morgan was out there with some 2x4s building a shed like he was Scott Girard.
What they did was, remember when they were building the facility and they had those little.
I do.
What do you call them? Not bungalows, but
they had some temporary. Yeah. They had wooden walkways and like temporary classrooms, sort of.
Yeah, this receiver room is so deep. That's what they've done. People don't know this. It's called the Eccles Receiver Room expansion.
I'd actually forgotten about that. That was weird walking around in that.
Yeah,
well, it was one year we had to go out there and we sat in this little mini classroom for press conferences. It was hilarious.
Yeah. those little
They're rough and
modular camp
unfinished
rooms that they did while they were building the center. And those kids who came in, no problem. You had zero problem when Wayshawn Parker came in and became your leading rusher, which he should be again this year. So how do you have a problem? How do I, as a Sun Devil fan, legitimately have a claim and want Sam Levitt to crash and burn, and I'm so irate what he did, we just turned around and took the Kentucky guy.
No, because you want what you want.
And who's to say the Kentucky guy isn't as good or better than Levitt? Because when Levitt went to ASU, they were nothing. He was nothing.
Nobody thought he was about to win a conference title, and he did. So why can't the next kid, who has no expectations, go out and win a conference title?
I can't be upset if what I'm doing is what the reason is that I'm upset about. Doesn't make any sense to me. There's no consistency there. And so, yeah, Michigan took these players, but then you took these players over here.
Yeah.
Right? That's a system where everyone is doing it. And so it's pointless to get upset about. It stings. I get it. And would the Devils be at least projected to be better this year with Levitt? Probably so. All right. Well,
But we also know what projections are worth.
right. Yeah, who knows? We'll find out in the next 3 months. And maybe this Boley kid is all that. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe he stinks and they get somebody else. They also got a Michigan transfer who was on the team last year who transferred over and is in competition. His name is Keene. He's actually a Phoenix kid, and he started at Fresno.
Oh, the whole coming home theory, huh?
Yeah.
So he went Fresno State to Michigan to ASU?
I believe so. There might have been, who knows.
It's not even unusual for a quarterback to be on the third school anymore.
He played
normal.
for Fresno and then went to Michigan, didn't play, and now is competing, and maybe he'll get a shot. Who knows? We'll see how it plays out. But that's the world in which we live in. So for Michigan, they just played by the rules. Did the rules stink for you that time? Yeah. Yeah, they did. But, you took coaches. You had no problem taking the offensive coordinator from Utah State.
Bronco's going to get a complex. He's lost 2 offensive coordinators in a row.
Well, not really. I mean, he left, so he didn't really lose Jason Beck.
I think he was planning on taking Beck with him.
But he didn't lose him. He didn't have him. Once you left New Mexico, you didn't have anybody.
But we can ask him when we have him on. We'll have him.
Oh, he's not going to worry about that 2 years ago. He didn't have Jason Beck once he left to take him in the first place.
I just heard an interview where, and maybe he was just having fun on the interview. I mean, that might be all it is. But he said, you lost your offensive coordinator to Utah. And he goes, 2 years in a row.
Well, they went to Utah 2 years in a row. But, I mean, at the same time, they understood it.
No.
They
do
hate
that.
Bronco in Albuquerque.
They do.
He can't say anything.
Yeah. It's more, it's way more money. And
Yeah.
You don't begrudge. Kyle Whittingham was always that. That's the thing in coaching. If somebody leaves for a lateral move, you're mad. If someone leaves G5 to Power 5 or a position coach to coordinator, a coordinator to head coach, that's all okay. That's people furthering their careers.
I think Beck is making over $2 million. I saw the thing.
Nice.
Now at Michigan. But he was never a Utah guy.
Nope.
His wife was running around and dressing up the kids in Utah gear.
This is 4 schools in 4 years for him.
And good for him.
Yeah.
He's an ascender.
Yeah, climbing the ladder.
Yeah. He didn't set out to do it, but the circumstances dictated that he goes ahead and does it.
Yeah, 4 years ago, I don't think he knew what the future held, and he sure as heck wouldn't have predicted this. But that's the way it played out.
And it's played out well. I'm all for the kid guy. I liked him back at BYU as a quarterback, and then he's got into coaching. I think Ronnie Mack was the guy who brought him in, and away he goes. And that's part of the deal, man. That's what I'm saying. If I'm BYU, I want Michigan to have success because I want guys. I don't. When Bronco left, it was basically Kalani. There was really no other guy.
Right.
You want to have it set up to where, because they got to go to church and all that stuff and play that game and believe in the faith, and I'm fine. That's fine with that. That you want more. You want variety. You don't want to have, you want options. You don't want to just, well, he's the next guy. I mean, what they did with Bronco was unheard of. You normally don't promote a guy from a losing seasons. And they had 3 losing seasons. He wasn't there all 3.
Right. Well,
but they didn't have that many guys.
When the U let Ronnie Mack go, they didn't promote Kyle. But Urban won, and then they promoted Kyle. And that's way more traditional. But you're right. There weren't options, so.
Yeah, and so I want Beck to, if I'm BYU, because you never know. As I said earlier, I've talking to people earlier this week that at least one, if not more, schools have already put out at least just casual feelers. If this doesn't go right at our institution, would your guy be at least minimally interested? Would it be worth our time to talk to him? Well, the answer is probably yes. Because if Kalani rolls out another 10-win season, oh my goodness gracious, the guy's the lovable teddy bear dude who gets along with everyone, and he's a Polynesian, which he never wanted to be viewed as a Polynesian recruiter, because why limit yourself? But the fact is, especially in the L.A. area, I'm not naming schools, but there's plenty of Polynesians. I live down there, and they're all over the place, right? And that would help. And you want a guy who's had a ton of success. Well, if he has another great season, he will have had a ton of success. And we can't keep saying, that COVID year. Now, we're 6 years removed from the COVID year. I don't want to hear about the COVID year they beat up on a bunch of nobodies. No, forget that. No, not at all. They're playing the competition that they play now, which is decent. And so there's a good chance that people will come calling. Whether he takes it or not remains to be seen. But you want to have guys in line, not, well, we got to go this direction. And Jason Beck, a guy who's, early 40s, and putting up points all over the scoreboard, you wouldn't want him? Of course you would. And he's one of your own. He played there, man. Means something a little bit more. So bottom line is he should be rooting for Michigan to have success, because it just lends credence to what the state of Utah has been doing.
DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Utah and BYU getting a little credence in the Athletic. We'll explain that coming up next. DJ and PK, it's 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Buddy brings you better coverage of the teams you're passionate about than these guys.
Try some more.
This is DJ and PK on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Our Northern Utah Player of the Week, Viewmont quarterback Brett Tovey. Brett Tovey helped lead the Viewmont Vikings to a dominant non-region win over the Cypress Pirates. Brett had 4 passing touchdowns against the Pirates through 256 yards. Also added 58 yards rushing and ran for 2 scores. The quarterback had an exclamation point on a 29-point first quarter with an electric 84-yard run for a score. Every week, KSL Sports will name Northern Utah High School Player of the Week in partnership with John Watson Chevrolet in Ogden. Congratulations to Brett Tovey, the John Watson Chevrolet Northern Utah Player of the Week. You were just talking about Michigan and Kyle Whittingham and what do you want for him this year, and you're talking about, hey, if he wins, it brings credibility and respect to football in the state of Utah. And we always talk about it's underrated. It's a great rivalry game. So the Athletic does this piece, 30 games you have to watch this year, which is basically 2, sometimes 3 games a week. You have to see, must-see TV. And it broke them into like 4 groups. I think one of them was essentially group 1 was the big dogs, right? Ohio State plays Oregon, a preseason number 1 versus number 2. You got to watch it. They had one group that was rivalry games. You're not going to watch it. The two teams that disgust and horrify you the most?
Because they're both going to get in the playoff. Why do I got to watch it?
Because they're number 1 and number 2.
But they're both going to get in the playoff. Yep. What's the ramification? They both played last year, didn't they?
Yep.
It didn't matter.
And there they are.
Now, just for the fun of it, but the ramification, no.
Not that big. It's like the Big Ten title game last year. You want to win it, but Indiana and Ohio State are both going. They had 6 rivalry games you had to see. They had Ohio State, Michigan. They had Oregon, Washington.
See, now that's different.
Rivalry games.
Rivalry games are different.
Alabama, LSU was on the list, and guess who else was on the list? Utah and BYU.
Yeah, it should be on the list.
And they wrote the whole
More so than ever.
If you've been there, you know. And
I've been there. Have you been there?
Yeah, I've been there.
You've been there, Alex? El Capitan, you been there?
Yeah.
I think I've been there, yeah.
Yeah. Right on.
And if you haven't, you better go see it because there is way more emotion in this game than there is in most rivalry games. So they talked that up big time. They had a list of games where teams had I think it was equivalent to statement games, and they put BYU Notre Dame on that one.
Who's making a statement?
BYU, that this is a chance. They basically put Notre Dame's big three games. Then Notre Dame, SMU. This could be Notre Dame's last chance to lose, and SMU's chance to make a statement and all that.
Oh, wait.
SMU, Notre Dame, and
When's
BYU
that?
Notre Dame. It's week 11.
Okay.
It's late in the season.
Okay.
It's way late.
Because I don't like anybody's last chance to lose in October.
Right. Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, no, that was the next last game.
Okay.
So they put that in there. The conference game, in addition to the BYU-Utah game, obviously a Big 12 game, the only other game they put on there was Houston and Texas Tech. That made the list. And the potential statement games, they put ASU, A&M on that. Said this is a chance for the Big 12 to grab the headlines.
And I think as we were talking about the fact that folks around here should be rooting for Michigan because it lends credence to what we're trying to do here as a football state, there's no question that you need to be rooting for the Devils because the Big 12 needs as many, what am I looking for, positive
results, yes,
as they could possibly get. Because this conference needs its other conference members to do well in these situations, very much so, because it is fighting for credibility, and the credibility has been hard to come by.
I think there are maybe 10 games tops that you can really get credibility. Kansas needs to meet Missouri. Auburn needs to beat Baylor. Iowa State needs to beat Iowa.
Well, and then I think in December.
Oh, yeah. Sure, absolutely. Whoever gets to the playoff, whether it's one team or two, you got to do it. You got to, at minimum, you got to play what the game that ASU played and be in overtime, and it's a coin flip, and everybody walks away thinking that was great.
And I think they got credibility. I think the conference got credibility. Last year,
shutout. Nope, can't do it.
Texas Tech, you bums. You undercut the conference last year. You couldn't even score a friggin' point. All that money. What a waste. See, at least the Sun Devils gave you value for their money.
They did. And they give us entertainment for 3 hours.
Oh, yeah, that was
which is really what people want. If you give people entertainment, you'll get respect.
Yeah. Yeah, if you lose in overtime, that's literally a play. And good for the team that won. And I know the team that lost is crushed, but at the same time, come on. Someone's going to have to win the game. And a play here or there, obviously that game could have gone either way. And if the referees didn't have their heads up their butts, they would have called targeting, and the Devils would have won in regulation, and then they would have went on and won the whole thing. I mean, that's obvious to see.
Would have won
and would have claimed their second national championship, the one that they had from the Sporting News in 1975.
Ripped off.
Yes. The Sporting News did give them one, and the Sporting News at the time was a big-time, legitimate publication. I was in the third grade. I had no idea what the Sporting News was, and we were on a family trip, and my mom, we had to go to Stockton to see if some college friend of hers. Boring, so boring. And the dad walked out and found out I was a sports fan and showed me the Sporting News. Oh, well,
awesome.
For you, that was like your first look at a girly magazine.
Third grade. I mean, in Jersey, I'd have seen girly magazines in the first or second grade, but not in San Diego.
Oh, it wasn't just about seeing them.
Wait, you published them? What, you'd already launched your writing career?
I'll explain to you in the break.
Okay. When we come back, Barry Trammell will probably want to know that story. TCU, in the shadow of the Dallas Cowboys, with one entire beat writer covering the team, has decided to revoke his credential. What are they doing? How many more layers are to this story? Tell me there's something I don't know. I'm hoping there's something I don't know, because on the surface, this seems crazy. We'll talk with Barry Trammell coming up next. Stay with us.